I see no excuses for deceiving you about these last 4 days. I have suffered hell. We held an advanced post that is a dugout in the middle of no man's land. The Germans knew we were there and decided we shouldn't. Those 50 hours were the most agony of my happy life. Every 10 minutes on that Sunday afternoon seemed like an hour. I nearly let myself drown in the water that was now slowly rising over my knees.
The last years of Wilfred Owen's life offered us a glimpse into the war which changed the world. The colours, the textures and the people, each beautifully depicted and reflected to produce what can be described as some of the most influential poetry of modern warfare. These are the last years of Wilfred Owen's life, in his own words.
Second 5 days.
Wilfred was suffering from shell shock. On the 2nd of May 1917 he returned home, and in June he was referred to Craiglockhart Hospital in Edinburgh. It was quiet and peaceful, just what he needed.
In my walk this afternoon, considering at leisure the sunshine and the appearance of peace, I determined what I should do after the war. I determined to keep pigs. Well, it occurred to me after 5 years of development of one pigsty in a careful and sanitary manner, a very considerable farm would establish itself.
By this time Wilfred had been writing poetry for a number of years. He had attempted to write about the war, but found it frustrating and overwhelming. His literary heroes, such as Keats, used romantic styles, which did not reflect the atrocities Wilfred was experiencing on the Western Front. Despite this, he soon introduced himself to a poet who saw the war as a great opportunity to explore the extremities of modern poetry. His name? Siegfried Sassoon.
He seemed an interesting enough chap. Not remarkable. My first view of him, he was a rather ordinary young man. Perceptibly provincial, though unobtrusively ardent in his response to my lordly dictums about poetry. Owing to my habit of avoiding people's faces whilst talking to them, I had not observed him closely. Anyhow, it was a pleasure to have another poet in the hospital, and one that was an admirer of my work. For him, on the other hand, the visit to my room had been, as he subsequently assured me, momentous.
I've beknown myself to Siegfried Sassoon. I went to him last night, my second call. First was one morning last week, as the sun shone into his room, making his purple dressing suit of a brilliance, almost matching my sonnet.
Sassoon recognised Wilfred's passion for poetry early on, and soon saw the burning potential that lay amongst his early work. Despite this, Sassoon did not hold back with his criticism.
Manuscript poems can be deceptive when handed to one like school exercises to be blue-penciled, especially when one has played 36 holes of golf and consumed a rather stodgy hospital dinner. I was sometimes a little harsh in what he would present me with, censoring his over-luscious writing in some of the more immature pieces that he handed me. There was almost an embarrassing sweetness in the sentiment of some of his work, although there was some skill in the rich and melodious combinations of the words.
The barrage of criticism soon took effect, and Wilfred began to produce poetry unbeknown to his pre-war self.
Bent over, like old beggars undersacked, knock-kneed, coffin like hags burst through the sludge.
till on the distant flares we turn our backs, and towards our distant rest begin the sludge. Men march asleep. Many have lost their boots, or bloodshot, or lame, or blind, deaf even to the hoots of disappointed shells that drop behind.
Wilfred's continuous battle to fight his previous urges to romanticise his subject matter slowly began to ease. He continued to write with the beauty of Keats, but the rawness of Sassoon's modern styles became a prominent force, and from this Wilfred became more honest in his portrayals.
I am the enemy. You killed my friend. I saw you in the dark, but so you found. Yesterday, through me, as you stabbed and killed, I parried, but my hands were loathed and cold. Let us sleep now.
It was not until sometime in October, when he handed me his perfectly constructed sonnet, Anthem for Doomed Youth, that I realised that my little friend was much more than the minor, promising poet that I'd hitherto judged him to be. I soon realised that his verse, with its sumptuous epithets and its large-scale imagery, its noble naturalness and depth of meaning, had impressive affinities with Keats, whom he took to be his extreme exemplar. This new sonnet was a revelation.
What passing bells with those who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns. Only the stuttering rifle rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. No mockeries now of them, of prayers or bells, or any voice of mourning save the choir.
By August 1918, Wilfred had returned to the front.
You said it'd be a good thing for my poetry if I come back. This is my consolation for being a fool. This is what the shells scream out every time. Have you not got the wits to stay out of this?
Wilfred fought hard over the next few months, taking with him the experiences that drove his poetic ingenuity. Then came the Battle of the Wease Canal. Wilfred Owen was killed at the Battle of the Sombre-Wease Canal on the 4th of November 1918, just 1 week before the armistice. Siegfried Sassoon worked hard to ensure Wilfred's poetry would survive. The war may have killed the man, but created the poet.
And so I have come to the true measure of man. Not that I'm dissatisfied with my years. Everything's happened in bouts. Bouts of poetry always. Of your affection always. This year I go out a poet, my dear mother, of which I did not enter it. I am held peers by the Georgians. I'm a poet's poet.